Hey, how are
Hi, how are
you?
you?
Nice to
I'm
meet
good.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
So, Evie, tell us where you are right now because I don't know if I should say good morning or good night to you.
It's good night. It's 9
Oh,
p.m. here. We're in Berlin, Germany.
oh, wow, exciting. Okay, well, the book is Bringing Down the Duke. It's Evie Dunmore, and I'm so excited to talk with you about this book. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Bringing Down the Duke, it blends the romance, the history, the feminism. It's all the things all in one. How did you land on this brilliant combination?
Mm. I don't think it was a conscious choice because for me, I very much agree with the motto of the early suffragists, which is the time where the book is set, that true love can only be had when you see eye to eye with your partner. So, one of the arguments for equality between men and women before the law was their belief that you had to be equal partners in order to truly have a romantic connection. So, and I agree with them. So, for me, it was never mutually exclusive to have, um, you know, uh, th- women wanting to be treated as people before the law, full people, and also getting their romantic relationship, which is what happens in Bringing Down the Duke, right?
Hmm. Right. Did you always want to set your series in the Victorian era?
So the first thing that mm, the first inspiration I had for Bringing Down the Duke wasn't so much a time period, it was the characters. The characters were literally speaking to me, and it became quite clear that they were, not from this time, that they were in the past, and they had a huge class difference. And for some reason, really liked the idea of the woman, Annabel Archer, our heroine, to be part of the first student cohort at Oxford University, the first female student cohort at Oxford University. So that just placed me into the Victorian era, and that was perfect because I think it's such an interesting era where so many things are, um, just starting to, how to say, things that we take for granted today kind of have their roots in that era, social movements, certain technological developments, ideas about economics. Very exciting era.
Hmm. For sure. How much research did you have to do to put yourself into Annabelle's world?
I did a lot of research, I think, considering it was a book I wrote just for myself and for fun. So that came first. I didn't consider publishing it until it was actually completely finished and my beta readers gave good feedback on it. So I went to the archives in Oxford to research the first women students at Lady Margaret Hall, which was an Oxford college back in the day, because all of our heroines are, early Oxford students. So I got source material there. I accessed primary sources online, parliamentary minutes, for example. You can read them all if you wanted to,
Yeah,
going back
yeah.
like 150 years. And of course, also the details, fashion, how did cabs work at the time? Did cat food exist at the time? Yes, how? So you could go down endless rabbit holes, really, and to get it
Yeah,
all right.
right. So Annabelle and Sebastian, they have incredible chemistry. Was one character easier to write than the other?
I certainly found Annabelle easier to write at first. She came to me just as she is. She felt like a friend, felt like I knew her, and Sebastian was a bit more of a mystery to me. I had a pretty good idea who he was, but when it came to developing him alongside Annabelle, there were a few surprises, and I had to make more conscious decisions about his character.
Hmm. You know, this is our book club book of the month that we're reading. And do you find it hard to let go of the characters once the book is done? Because I know I read a lot and I say, well, what happens next? Okay, so this happened and maybe they got together, maybe they didn't, but what's going to happen next? Do you have a difficult time letting go? And how do you do that?
Yes, I do have a difficult time letting them go. I mean, on the one hand, their story is done. I said what needed to be said through them. They had a happy ending. But, you spend a lot of time with these characters when you're writing a book. It takes about a year and a half, and they all seem so real. It feels like they are actual friends or people.
Yes.
So it's really nice to write a series because you can linger in that world and you can revisit the characters. And personally, as a reader, I love doing this when I read. I love
Mm,
staying in a world for a while. And it turned out that as a writer, I like that too. So yeah, when I finished the last book in the series, I was definitely feeling a little lost for a
yeah.
bit.
Yeah. So, if you could turn Bringing Down the Duke into a movie, do you picture who would star in it?
Yeah, so for Annabelle, there's an actress that I felt would really suit her. Her name's Jessica de Gauw. I saw her in a Victorian series about Dracula and
Oh,
thought, yeah, she would actually make a really good Annabelle. For Sebastian, honestly, I don't know of any actor who'd look exactly the way I picture him. And I once did a questionnaire on Instagram asking my readers how they picture him, and I got such a broad variety of blonde men sent that I realized, everyone's picturing their hero differently, and that's that's fun. So.
right. Isn't that funny? I know when you read, I picture all the characters the way I do, and I'm sure, somebody else pictures them a different way. I think that's why I don't really like audiobooks because when I'm reading, I'm making up the voices in my head. And when you listen to it and, they do all the voices, it's not the same to me. It kind of ruins it.
Definitely different experience listening compared to reading for sure.
Hmm. Right? And I love the feel of a book in my hand. It's like my favorite thing in the world. I love it. So, did you base any of these characters off of real people?
So the women in the group are more of like a accumulation of real women. As I said, the first women students at Oxford who really existed, then some suffragists at the time who actually existed, like Millicent Fawcett, later on the Pankhurst sisters and their mother. And it's a blend of actual women who existed. But Sebastian is actually inspired by Lord Selborne, who was the real Lord to push the Married Women's Property Act through the House of Lords. Um, he was a conservative politician who was against women's suffrage at first, but then he did a 180-degree turn eventually and really stood up for this Married Women's Property Bill, and he did it despite his own health concern. Like he had health issues, but he still went in and tried to push that bill through because he just felt it was unjust how women were discriminated before the law, in particular working class women. So he was an actual person.
Nice. So, can you take us through your process a little bit? Do you outline every detail or do you just kind of discover the story as you go along?
I'm a huge plotter, which means I'm not a pantser, and the pantsers are the ones who discover the story fully as they go along.
Mhm.
I kind of need to know where I'm going. I like to have a rough arc from the beginning to the end with a couple of connecting events in between. And as I fill in the gaps, however, the story does take on a life of its own, which is the best part of writing, to be honest. But for that to happen, I kind of have to have a goal in mind. So I do spend more time on plotting and a little less time on editing than a pantser would, I think.
Nice. What's your favorite part of writing romance?
Falling in love again. So falling in love alongside my characters and yeah, just it's just a wonderful experience, isn't it? And I think that's probably why a lot of romance readers read romance also because they like to fall in love with the characters.
Hmm.
And again, turns out that's also what I like as a writer.
Yeah. I mentioned before, I get so involved in the story and the characters, and I just don't want them to end. Sometimes I want to know more. Well, what happens next? Does it ever surprise you how connected readers become to the characters you write?
Definitely surprising. I mean, I still get so many lovely notes and comments about the characters. And I think there was a lady who named one of her children after one of my characters.
Oh.
Somebody named their cats after them. People would like short stories about them or, ask what do they look like and what's happening to them after the story's over, things like that. So that's definitely very moving and humbling. And again, as a reader, I can understand that because
Mhm.
I tend to get very invested in characters as well when I read other people's books.
Right. I know. Sometimes I can't read the final chapter right away. I have to let it, simmer, I guess, I guess that's the word for it, for a day. And then I finish it the next day because I don't want it to end. I want it to keep going.
Yep, has happened to me too.
Yeah. What's next for you?
I'm currently working on a new material. I've been out of the writing business a bit because I had a baby last year and it just really brought my writing schedule to a halt. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a very lovely experience, but she started walking at like barely 9 months old, and
Oh,
that was that with my writing time.
oh, wow.
Yeah, spent every day chasing a racing baby, basically. So nothing, no words were written in the end.
Oh,
So, but now
well,
I'm good on track. Hmm?
nice. Well, you are such a pleasure. You are so delightful.
You.
Next for your next book, if you want to be on the show again, I would love to have you. Thank you so much for taking time. I know you're so busy with a toddler and everything, and for you to take some time to talk with me about this book, it was just amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Absolutely would love to come back.
Where can people go for more information on you?
Probably my Instagram or signing up for my newsletter, which you can sign up for on my website, eviedunmore.com.
Good.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
And it's Bringing Down the Duke. It's this month's book that we're reading for book club, and it's so, so good. Evie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.